faces.
The 12 hands in Roja, nobody's that lucky.
It's not luck. It's called skill.
Take it easy, boys.
But I just bring you slowly down.
Is that a threat?
Welcome to Ace's Corner.
What's up? We are here. We got UFC 308, and we are in Ace's Corner. Yeah, we got Ace himself here, and he's going to break it down for us, UFC 308, and we're going to go from there. Are you excited for this fight?
Yeah, is that a new intro?
That's your intro, bro. What you mean?
I mean, that's a good intro.
Yeah.
Man, waiting. Max is one of my favorite fighters because he's very entertaining. You know, he gives you pay hard-earned money for that pay-per-view, and with Max, you never get a dull fight, even from what I've seen. So
Exactly.
he's a warrior, you know.
Did you hear that? Ilia Topuria he's gonna tell him right here in the center of the ring, and he's gonna try to get him to.
Audio, do you?
What's that? You sound good.
No,
Yeah.
the audio was still on like loud.
Well, okay, I just had the music going on, but yeah, he said he's gonna get him in the middle of the ring and try to slug it out, just like they did with Gaethje, right?
Okay, well, see, when you have to make an announcement that you're gonna do it, it sounds gay, you know.
Yeah.
So do it when you do it. Don't do it because someone else did it. You know, that's like
I don't know if
Kamala
you.
stealing all of Trump's policies.
Oh yeah, I see. Trump is in a Steeler uniform. You see, he had Mike Wallace, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown.
Yeah, well, they're dogs, and Trump's a dog, so recognized game. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so let's start it off. I don't know if you checked out their press conference, but not the press conference, but they had the
I saw a Zoom
where they
thing.
talk.
It didn't look that good. I didn't watch it. What are the odds for this? I'm curious. I have not looked at it at all.
Well, you tell me what you think they are.
I think
Don't
Max
look.
should be the favorite, to be honest with you. But
Okay, well, you're going to get some good money for this then, because it's plus 200. So you get 2-1 odds for Max.
that's insane. It is insane.
Interesting.
Topuria barely became the champ. He hasn't defended. And I mean, who has he fought? Right? He hasn't fought anyone of Max
Well,
Holloway's caliber or with his resume. I mean, he fought back to back, moving up weights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that's the big thing because he destroyed him and he beat Max what, 3
Yeah.
times, 2 times, or 3 times?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean nothing. This isn't football. This isn't the MMA math doesn't work. You know, I mean, it's his matchups, especially fighting. I mean, we've seen
Yeah.
a lot of fighters like who was it? Anderson Silva, right? Couldn't beat Wyman. A lot of weird
Yeah.
fights that way. Right? Look at Tito Ortiz; he could not beat Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
And this is boxing where fake ass record and a loss ruins your career. No, not at all. We want good fights. We want you
Yeah.
to have those wars. You know.
Exactly. But it's going to be an interesting test for the young man, you know. But Max
Oh,
is pretty young
he
himself.
I think Topuria is in over his head, and he knows it. That's why he didn't want to take the fight. He was ducking Volk. He was ducking Max. He was ducking everybody.
Yeah.
He was afraid. And then UFC, they love Max. Max is a great champion. He's a great steward to the UFC, and they made him take the fight. I mean, he couldn't deny Max after he won the BMF belt. And Max is the GOAT at this weight class. I know nowadays they call everybody the GOAT, the GOAT, the GOAT. There's only 2 GOATs. It was Jose Aldo, he's 10 years undefeated, and Max. You know, Connor, as much as I love not this Connor, Prime Connor, he won the belt and vacated, so he doesn't get the status of being the GOAT. Max has dominated, cleaned out the division, and he lost to Volk only. So Volk doesn't get that status until he goes through the roster, and he clearly didn't. Good fighter,
Yeah.
but I think Max is the GOAT. He's still young enough to be in his prime. I mean, look at the people he's beaten. He's beaten people very comparable to Topuria. Topuria is a good fighter with power. I mean, he beat Calvin Kattar, who's got great power, you know, and really good boxing skills. He beat, you know, Justin Gaethje. I mean, I was telling everyone to bet Justin Gaethje, and Max is probably my favorite fighter, and I was
Yeah.
thankfully wrong. But I mean, I mean, he beat a lot of people that have power. Brian Ortega, right? Scary on the ground, good power boxing, and he picked those people apart. Max has
Exactly.
got great. He's gonna drown you with volume, like not many people can, and he's much more dangerous than like a Nate Diaz style, but he's much more aggressive and goes after it. And Topuria has never fought anyone like that before. Not many people like that, And I don't think it's gonna go well for him. I think he's gonna try to KO. If he doesn't KO him in the first round, which Max could take damage. We've seen him take damage big time against Dustin Poirier. He hurt Dustin Poirier even in the later rounds after he was beat up the whole fight. So I think
Yeah.
Topuria's got power. He's a good young guy. He's got talent, but I think Max is just different elite caliber, like a different fucking stratosphere. Like Topuria is like an SEC powerhouse, right? But
Yeah.
Max is like NFL. It's like it's just different level to me in my eyes. I think it's insane. If you flip this, pretend Volkanovski won, right?
Exactly.
And
Okay. Okay.
Topuria didn't have the belt, Max would be favorite.
Yeah.
He's only getting
Yeah.
that favorite because he's got the belt, and people who don't know UFC who are going to go to Vegas, they're going to see, oh, I'm been on champion. But there's no reason he should be favored. I mean, especially what Max just did to Gaethje. Gaethje's a way better fighter than Topuria. Way more
And
heart, more power, better resume, and Max fucked him up. I mean, he won maybe 4 to 5 rounds, and then finished with a KO. That's insane.
I think everybody thinks that Max is really old, and because he's been fighting for so long too. I
He's been
think that's
fighting since he was 20 years old. He's not old.
yeah, exactly.
Gaethje's older than him.
I know
Dustin
it's
Poirier's
weird.
older than him.
I feel like Max is like 35 or something like that, or but he's I think is he still in his 20s? How old is he? I don't even know.
No, I think he's 30, maybe 31, 32. I
Probably
think he's 30.
barely approaching 30. But how old's Ilia? He's probably like
He's young,
23. Yeah, he's super young.
25.
And he's kind of humble. I mean, he's humble, but he's cocky. He knows
Yeah,
what he's got. He knows
he's
that
not humble at all. He's not
he's
humble.
kind of humble. If you saw him
He's
in
like a wide
the
receiver. He's a diva.
yeah,
Max is
well, I mean,
32.
he's at the top of his game, so he's maybe
I don't
he's
think
still
so. I
got
think he's still good. So Topuria is 27 and Max is 32. So
wow. Okay, 27. That's usually their prime. Usually 27 to 30, right?
I said low 30s to high 20s. Yeah.
Yeah, strange sport. But 15 and 0, he's got to be pretty cocky, you know what I mean? But at the
I mean,
same time when he was
Volkanovski's 36. Big
yeah,
difference.
yeah, exactly. So they weren't joking when he looked like such an old man. He looked so bad in that fight. That I think that's the perception going into this too. Is Max going to be like is he going to be boxing really well at the highest level, or is he's going to slow down and you know, lose a
Okay, well,
step or something?
put it this way: only person who's given him problems, Max Holloway, is Volkanovski, and I think it's just a style thing. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, I think it's just a style thing, and Topuria does not have that style.
Yeah,
Volk is much bigger. He used to weigh more. He has a lot of strength in his hands. He had pretty good speed. His takedown defense is phenomenal, and Topuria
well,
doesn't
there won't
have
be
that.
any takedowns, probably, right? I wouldn't imagine.
I don't think so, but Max has decent jiu-jitsu skills. So, and I'm not sure Topuria, but
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
watch all Topuria's fights to be honest. But I've seen. I mean, if he wins, to me it'd be a surprise. I'd be like, okay, now you're the champ.
Wow.
Well, for anyone, if you win the belt, you got to defend it once to be considered champ.
So is this
Um,
going on your ticket?
I'll probably sprinkle something on it for sure if I was in, especially you're getting plus 200.
Would it go on your parlay?
Not on the main one, no, because the main one
Okay.
that I'm betting big money, that's 100% guaranteed. This is MMA.
Yeah,
Topuria's got power. So even if it wasn't, Topuria's power, if you're like a regular fighter could knock someone out, Mac's gonna get hit for sure. So no, I'm not gonna
exactly.
bet my big money on this. That's more like a Amanda Nunes fight type of thing where like she's gonna wipe the floor with them.
Exactly. I mean, I could just see Max boxing, for 5 rounds and just lighting him up. And, I mean, the reach isn't there for Taporia. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know which way this is going to go because it's like a big question mark with Ilya for me. I just don't know what to expect. We'll see. We'll see. Big match. but the odds are there. Good
Yeah,
money.
fucking.
It seems like it's a 50-50 coin flip,
Mhm.
right? For me, I think.
Yeah, like even like I'm not. Topuria is great. He's got talent. He's got that star factor too. You know, I'm sure the UFC loves it. He's
Yeah,
a overseas fighter. You know, which they want to get into new markets. I just don't like that
yeah,
he won the belt and he became this fucking wide receiver diva, and he's like ducking people. It's like you're no one to duck nobody. Like
yeah,
you have no title shots. You know, all these people want
exactly.
to do get a double champ, move up weight. It's like first take care of your division, win a couple fights, if not clean up the division, and in a in a nice manner. Okay, you beat Max, then you could be cocky and talk shit, and then you could demand things. You don't demand
Yeah,
nothing on your first title defense. And
exactly.
look at Amanda Nunes. She had two divisions, and she wasn't that cocky, dude. And she was dominating. You know,
Yeah.
Cyborg. Look at Anderson Silva. Those guys are. I don't know, but I'm excited about the co-man, man, because I love Chamaya. It's just he's fucking crazy, dude. That's a
Are
good
we going to
segue.
see him? That's the question. Is he going to make it to
Well, the
Saturday?
good thing is that it's over there. He's not having to travel over here and do all that stuff.
True.
So I
Yeah.
think it's a better chance. But I think I like Whitaker. He's a good. I mean, how can you not like Whitaker, right? You're kind of an
Yeah.
asshole if you don't like Robert Whitaker. But
Absolutely.
he's small for that weight class, and Chimaev is a fucking monster and ginormous for any weight class he fights at. And I
Yeah.
haven't. I mean, what he did to Kevin Holland, and I like Kevin Holland. He's very versatile. He's the legit black belt, and he fucking ragdolled him. Very impressive to me. Who you beat and how you beat them, and he made him look like he was fighting a smaller fighter. So I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, it was very impressive. I
So
like
what do you
Chimaev.
think?
I think he could be a champ. He's a good striker. He's got power. His wrestling is fucking insane. And his cardio, he never gets tired. I think
Yeah.
he wins. And I like we talked earlier. Would you put that on your ticket? I put Chimaev on my ticket. I wouldn't mind doing
Ooh.
a parlay with like Max and Chimaev because Max you get great value, but that I see this being less of a coin flip. I think
Yeah.
Roberts peaking down from his prime, where Chimaev is just. I mean, he's barely entering his prime, and doesn't have a lot of miles on him. You know what I mean? Like Robert does, like Max does have miles.
Exactly. Exactly. Now Robert's very versatile. I don't even know he hangs around. He looks like he's
Robert's
light
like a
for.
jack of all trades. He's not great
Yeah.
at anything. But he's not bad at anything either. He's just good at everything. He's an okay wrestler. He's got good strength, good cardio, decent power. He's somewhat elusive, but when you consider that he's a smaller fighter, you'd expect him to be faster. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
he's good at everything. So I mean, he's not great at anything. He's not terrible at anything. But where Chimaev, like his peaks are like, I don't think Robert could outstrike him, right, at all. I don't think he could
Okay.
out wrestle him. I don't think Chimaev's gonna get tired.
Yeah.
And not only that, Robert, likes to move around. When he's at his best is when he's like using speed in and out fast, right?
Yeah.
Chimaev's gonna be in your face from the fucking bell, right? And
Uh huh.
he's not gonna give you time to do your thing. You're gonna have to be on defense, which Robert Whitaker is not really known as being like a counter striker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Adesanya is. Adesanya goes slow. He wants you to act first, and he's going to counter strike. Chimaev is in your face, and I think it's going to be a little bit odd for Robert Whitaker. And I think Chimaev wins unanimous decision by far, or probably a stoppage. To be honest, and he gets on people, ground and pounds, and kills them.
Ooh.
If Robert Whitaker wins, it won't be a decision. I don't think so. I think it'd be like a KO. Because he does have power. I don't see him knocking him out, but with UFC, I always give you that chance. And
Oh,
Robert's
absolutely.
good at anything. I would be surprised if Robert Whitaker won.
Do you think it's going to go 5 rounds? I guess you're saying that
I don't
most
think this is a
likely it
5 round
will.
fight.
Okay. Oh,
I think
but it's the co-main
no,
event.
and none of them
Shouldn't it
have
be five
belts.
rounds?
If you have a lot of times the co-main's like a championship fight, then
Yeah.
that's also 5 rounds. But this isn't.
Mm,
None of them are champions, so I think it's 3 rounds, which favors Kamzat because then he's gonna go full bore. He doesn't have to save himself. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because like I see himself maybe pacing himself. It was a 5 round fight for his style, where Robert Whitaker's style knows. I don't think I think it's a 3 round fight. So I think that
Interesting.
helps Chimaev because he doesn't have to worry about gassing out the way he
That's
fights.
what I was going to say. What do you think about his cardio? Doesn't he
I haven't
usually
seen
have
him
some
gas out so
trouble?
far, and like the way he wrestles so aggressively, like relentless at takedowns. He ragdoll people and goes all out. He fought someone. Who did he fight? Was it the one when he fought Usman? No, Usman took it. I know he fucked up Usman too. But where he went really hard, and then he kind of the second run took it easy, but it was still for him it was slower pace, but it was still I haven't seen him at all have a cardio problem. Especially this is going to be 3 rounds. He's not traveling different time zones. He's staying over there, right? So I think that only helps him.
Exactly.
Coming to America, right? You have those big weight because he moves up to 170 and 185. Is that correct, or did he fight at 205, Chimaya? I don't remember.
I think he fights at 205.
Okay. Okay. So then, because I was gonna say that might also hurt your weight cut, but he's gonna be at the lighter weight right now.
Yeah,
so I guess
that's
something
brutal.
to worry about, right? Where Robert's that's a good weight for him.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's as disciplined as the rest of the.
Well, I've never seen him
Dagestanis
have outside of cardio. I mean, I know he's not had problem making weight, but that's because he's so big for the weight class.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, what do you think the odds are for this one? Do you think it's
probably Whitaker minus 150? It's gonna be close, 175.
No, it's Chimaya minus 258.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So you're losing value, but if you put on a parlay, I don't think so.
Yeah. So that would go on your parlay card, right? I'm assuming.
I think it's a safe bet.
Okay, so then we got Magomed versus Rakic, Alexander Rakic. What do you
think? You start off. I'm doing something in a minute.
Well, I hear a lot of chatter about Rakic in this one. A lot of people like his fighting style, and they think it's his time. And I don't really know why.
I don't like Rakic.
I
wasn't sure. A lot of those guys, their names get mixed up. So I had to wait to see. But no, man, I think he's just like a gatekeeper, to be honest with you. I mean, he's a tall, lengthy guy. He's got okay power, not great wrestling, not great takedown. His power fades and he gets hit. And I think he's a gatekeeper. I don't see him ever being a top 5 contender with weight class of 205.
Okay. Yeah, 205.
Yeah, I mean, he's never going to be like if he gets a title fight is going to be like short notice or he steps in. But, I mean, pull up who he's fought. I mean, I can't think of anyone great he fought. In fact, his last fight, he looked terrible. And it was probably one of his better. It wasn't terrible, but it was one of his better fights, and I think he lost.
Well,
record.
Yeah, got it right here. So his fight history, Porzenka, and that was he was winning that fight,
and that was Yuri's first fight back, and he was still doing his tricks, and he won. I mean, look at the loss. Who did he beat? Thiago Santos, that's after he had 2 ACL surgeries and he moved up weight. So I don't give him big credit for that. See, I don't. And the other guy, who's he?
Smith, Anthony Smith, Lionheart. He beat the Lion.
Well, Anthony's either gonna knock you out, or he's gonna quit halfway through his fight. So he's better at commentating than he is at fighting. Unfortunately,
yeah,
I don't know how you have a nickname Lionheart when I've seen you quit a handful of different times, and I like him. He's good talent, but the heart's not there. Like I've seen him, it's like he has to get his ass beat to get into the fight, and that's not a good way when you're close to heavyweight.
Yeah. So,
but who's he fighting though? He's fighting Ankalaev, right?
Magomed. Ankalaev.
And he's good at everything. I think he's a good grappler.
It's hard to bet against these Dagestanis.
I go right there. Those 3, I'm really confident in those fights right now. I'd go against Rakic because I don't like him. What are the odds for that fight? Probably minus 300, minus 275, 250.
I probably like 200, right? So he had a draw. Ankalaev had a draw with Blachowicz.
Yeah, but Blachowicz is like top elite, top 3 talent.
Oh yeah, Jan is
for sure
crazy. So it's minus 380 for Magomed.
So you go Magomed, you go parlay that with what's his name? Sorry.
Chimaya.
And then I'll do the second one. You throw Max on there, you're gonna get good value.
Yeah, I've been listening to a couple of podcasts and everybody's liking Rakic. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that
kind of a thing.
But it always happens the opposite way, right?
For me, if you're gonna give me a fight between a striker and a wrestler or a grappler, I'm gonna take them by far. I know,
especially right now.
It's not exciting, but it's more secure and safe. You can't knock me out. I'm humping the shit out of you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. This is their time in Saudi Arabia or Dubai, actually. But, it's right there. I don't see them. They're probably going to sweep But we got Leon Murphy versus Dan Ige. Any
Got Ige.
take on Ige? Do you have any take on this one?
I love Ige, dude. He's a fucking dog.
18-8. He's a dog, but you know,
He's a dog.
he's gonna.
He's got good volume. He strikes really good, clean boxing and striking. Decent grappler. He very professional. Always shows up. He took his last fight on 4 days' notice, dude. No, on 4 hours' notice. I'm sorry.
Wow, 4 hours notice.
Vegas. It was in
Yeah.
Vegas. He lives in Vegas, and he took a fight against that one crazy Mexican dude with the crazy hair. He's
Okay.
not
Yeah.
Mexican,
Yeah.
but he fought Brian Ortega recently,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and that guy's a savage. And he took this. That guy's a savage. Right? He's young. He's aggressive, like Chimaya, and no one wants to fight him. And Ige took that fight on 4 hour notice. Went the distance. Won the last round. Looked really good. Didn't get. Probably fought him the toughest so far. It was really impressive. And Leon Murphy, I'll be honest, I don't know much about Leon Murphy. Maybe I've seen his fights. I watched a lot of UFC, even the undercards. Maybe I don't know his name. But I know Ige is a fucking pro and a professional. Who is he fought? Can you pull up Leron Murphy's last
Yeah.
couple fights?
Well, it seems like they're kind of setting up Ige for kind of like a gatekeeper kind
I
of
wouldn't say he's a
situation.
gatekeeper. He's like
Well,
right
I mean,
there.
they're setting him up for a situation like that for
I
for
think
Murphy
here's
to
my
kind
thing.
of like,
I think UFC did UFC a huge favor by stepping in on that 3 hour notice.
yeah,
I think this is kind of like, okay, you gave us a favor, here's a favor back, to be honest with you. I could be totally wrong. Murphy could be like an up and coming superstar, which I'd be surprised. I don't know much about him. But
yeah.
I know Ige is a big company guy. He's a good fighter. He's always right there, like middle of the range, close to top five, right that borderline. And
So decision with Barboza, and then he beat Culibao, Santos. He beat Santos in a split decision. So nothing great, nothing special. Doesn't look like he's a. I mean, he should probably dominate these
I'll
guys.
take Ige. He's probably a huge favorite, right? Like minus 300, minus 350.
That would be interesting to see. So
That'll tell us if he's a contender or not.
wow,
Minus
Murphy is
500.
minus 270.
Murphy's minus 270.
Murphy is minus 270. They're setting him up. Murphy's even. I know the
Wait,
rankings don't matter, but he's number
is he
12.
is Ige
I
moving up weight?
I don't know. It can't really be because it's featherweight. So I mean, it's.
But Ige's small. He's short.
Oh, is
He's
he
5'7". Yeah, he's not. He's in the shorter side.
not that short?
So then
5'7".
you know what?
Oh, there's your
I
guy,
don't always.
Diego Lopez. That's who he
Yeah, I
fought.
don't always do this. So if you had to bet money on an underdog so far, I'd go for sure. Well, obviously Max Holloway, right? I don't think
Yeah,
many people are going to consider him like a huge underdog. I'd go Dan Ige because what's Dan Ige plus what?
300, I think.
Yeah, that's good money, dude.
That's ridiculous because
That's great money.
Murphy's. I
And
mean,
Ige's got power. He's a good boxer. He's good. He's very well rounded. Kind of like, I guess, kind of similar to Whitaker. Like he's good at everything.
so you're talking about that 4-hour fight in Las Vegas, and he went to decision,
And
but
he was
it
a
wasn't
fake
close,
underdog.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
was
wasn't
close.
close.
It was close.
Unanimous decision. I
I mean,
think
it
I
was a
remember it.
decision, but that guy's supposed to ragdoll him. I mean,
Yeah,
everyone's afraid to fight him, and he took him on 4 hours' notice. He didn't get finished. He fought him tough. Like even that guy got him dominating the situation, and then he survived. He didn't get really hurt. And then on the later rounds, Lopez was gassed out. He was tired, and Iga came on and pieced him up on the feet, and he won the last round. So it was impressive, man. If
yeah.
there was like a 5 round fight, or if he had like a full camp, it would have been very impressive because he moved up weight class for that one.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm thinking this one
Yeah,
might be upper weight class.
maybe because he's willing to do anything, right, for the company. But
You need those paychecks,
I'll
man,
t-
if you're a fighter.
absolutely. So we for the next one we got Shara Magomedov versus Arman Petrosan. I don't know much about Petrosan, but I saw Shara Magomedov not too long ago. He fought and he dominated his fight. He looked good, typical. I think he's actually he strikes more than most of the like Dagestani fighters.
Mhm.
It's
I
pretty
don't know much
close.
about this fight, to
Yeah,
be
pretty
honest with you.
close.
But
Pretty much.
if I don't know, I'm gonna bet on
Yeah,
a Dagestani camp guy versus anybody. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Back to that wrestling, the
Exactly.
striker thing, right? It might be boring, but hey, if my money's on the line, I want it to be boring. That's why we like
Let's.
Curtis Blades a lot, right? He's
Oh
boring, but he
yeah,
does what works, and he usually sticks
safe
to the
money.
script. Yep, and he's dominant. That's what I want if I'm betting
Well,
my
I
my
think
hard-earned money.
I probably just stay away from this one because it looks like the odds are not even significant to give you any kind of like
Yeah, I'd stick away from this one.
yeah, I'd be really pissed if I lost my parlay because of that. But Ibo Aslan versus Rafael
I couldn't
Securia.
I couldn't give you anything on this, but let's just go
Well,
to
this is a good one.
Goff versus
Well,
Dos Anjos.
yeah, exactly. But this is interesting because this is the main event of the prelims. So, huh, I don't know why. Probably something because you know how when they do it in that city, they have to
Yeah,
give
they're gonna
something
bring every
special.
Mexican, they're gonna bring every Brazil, every Chinaman, right? If they're fighting in that country or region.
He's from Turkey and he's from Brazil. Are they just like feeding him to the wolves or something? I don't know what's going on
No,
here. It
because the odds look pretty even, to be honest with you.
might be a hometown favorite or something.
The
Who
odds look
knows?
even, so I'd be
Yeah,
surprised.
pretty weird. So you got Jeff Neal versus Rafael Dos Anjos. Is Dos
So
Anjos back or what?
no, Dos Anjos is not back. He's a walking corpse. But to be honest, I'm kind of torn here because Dos Anjos is a corpse, and like he seems like he's totally out of it if he's
Yeah,
not contending for higher fights, and
yeah,
he just doesn't look the same. I don't know. He is older. He's fought a lot of miles on him. And is this at
exactly.
155 or 170?
It's welterweight, so
That's 170, right?
I don't know what welterweight is. Let me see. I'll check it out. Go ahead, keep going.
It says 185.
Oof.
No, welterweight's 170, I believe. But so he's small for that weight class if he's moving up there.
Yeah,
But here's the thing that gets me. Goff is I mean Neil hits really hard. He has power, but I watched a lot of his fights, and his corner's yelling at him the entire time because he's just like a little bit hesitant to throw. I don't know if he's a slow starter. You know, he doesn't let his hands go enough, and they're because when he hits hard, man. He has power. So what that's the other thing that makes me kind of is he gonna be up for this one? You know, it is he's traveling across the damn world and time zone. Um,
yeah.
but Dos Anjos is a punching bag there to be had, and I think at this point he's just fighting to fight out his contract to me. Maybe and people, if you're a Dos Anjos fan, I'm sorry, you're not gonna like what I'm saying. I like Dos Anjos. I like him in his prime. He's a
Everybody's
very
a Dos
well-rounded
Anjos
fighter,
fan.
but
Yeah,
you can't deny that his last 3 or 4 fights, he's looked kind of not impressive. You know, maybe he lost a step. I have too. It
of
happens to everybody.
course.
Age always
Yeah,
wins, but when you're a
yeah.
fighter, you don't want that to happen. And Neil still, a couple big knockouts away from you get a knockout on a big name like Dos Anjos. That's exactly what you
Ooh,
want to get your name up there.
get that
So
get that bonus too, right? He's probably
yeah,
someone that's looking
especially
for that bonus.
especially on a card like this where you got a lot of Dagestani type wrestling guys that might be boring. A knockout could easily get you, but fight in a big $50,000 bonus.
Oh yeah, that's good money right
Yeah.
there. But yeah, Dos Anjos. So he's
So for me,
39 years old.
I feel safe betting against Dos Anjos. Yeah, and you're not a heavyweight. That's good for heavyweights, not when you're in lower weight classes at 155, 170, where you get a lot of elite talent, you know?
Yeah, that's rough. That's really rough. So they're fighting out 170.
Yeah, so
So
so this is Dos Anjos at a bigger weight class where he's usually smaller, and Neil is a bigger guy. He could not make 155 where Dos Anjos can, but Neil could not. So he's a bigger guy. He hits hard. So
yeah,
he could also take Dos Anjos hits, and Dos Anjos is damn near 40. You know what I mean? And yeah, I
yeah.
feel really comfortable betting on Neil, and he's probably a big favorite too, to be honest, at that weight class.
298. So not incredibly big, but
That's big,
yeah,
man.
big enough. Yeah.
3 to 1. You
3
got
to
to bet
1, yeah.
300 to win 100.
They don't usually have those like huge numbers like they used to have like the 700 and stuff like that, but I guess
Well,
you got to
when you get
respect
like Amanda
RDA.
Nunes or something like that, you do, or you get Pereira, those big names.
Yeah. But let's see. So I think these next two fights, do you know anything about these guys? I don't even want to
Nah,
attempt to say their names. You got
nope.
this Chinese guy who's like a Russian name or something like that.
He's a
No
favorite.
vowels. Yeah, he's super favorite. From what the freak? What is Chris Kristan? I never heard of that country. Anyways, he's from the moon or something. So we got Abbas Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira. Anything about that?
Negative.
Okay. This one's an interesting one. Kennedy Nezchu Wu versus Chris Barnett.
There you
That's
go.
interesting.
Minus 675.
Chris Barnett hasn't fought in like 2 years, I don't think. Something like that. He pulls out of fights because of storms and things like this. But I I heard there's a lot of good things about Chris Barnett. He's a good fighter, and he doesn't look like he's in shape, but he moves really quick, kind of like a
If
offensive
if
lineman or
if
something.
he's the guy I'm thinking of, he's got a lot of power. And he's got like that, that guy at the bar. If that's the guy
Yeah,
I'm thinking about, but I don't know. You're minus 675. That's Vegas, and they're usually not wrong on their lines. So I don't know, man. To be
yeah,
honest with these two guys, man,
yeah.
because this is
I
one of
might
those
bet.
cards where it's really top heavy. Then after that, they're kind of just filling it with people. Because I have no idea who's even on this card. A lot of these cards.
Yeah,
And to
I
be honest,
just
a
it's
lot of those
just
times when you don't know their names, they're not people you don't know. Those usually get some exciting fights. You know what I mean? And that's how you get your name out there. And I'm calling you like, hey,
exactly.
did you see that prelim fight? You're like, nah. I'm like, watch it. You know?
Yeah, sometimes it'll be the best fight of the night, but and nobody knows their name really, but this is really brutal. Some of these things like Fareed Basharat, Victor Hugo, Bruno Silva. I've heard of Bruno Silva. I just can't remember where he was fighting, but very top heavy, very top heavy. Hey, did you
And no
hear about
girls. And no girls in the card.
there was a girl fight and then they
Oh,
pulled
what's
out.
her name? The one with
Yeah,
the
the
beat?
professor was just talking about that. I can't remember, but they just pulled out one of the girl fights. Those are
Yeah,
usually pretty fun
she's a
because
monster, that
there's
girl.
not
She's like the Khabib version of a woman.
what.
But she had neck surgery.
Oh,
Well, no, she had back surgery a couple years ago where she was out a year. What's her name? Me and the professor like her because she's so dominant and she's like by far the best wrestler in
is it a
all women's
Tisha?
division.
Is it something
No,
like Tisha? Is it a who is it? I know
not Tisha
Tatiana.
Torres.
Isn't
Tatiana
Tatiana?
Suarez.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, she's a monster, man, but she just has so many injuries. That neck injury was a big one. She came back, moved up weight class just to kind of make the fight. She won, not as dominant as she normally does, but she moved up weight and she was trying to show she was a back because that girl, if she's healthy and she's not hurt, she's got a fucking problem for that division. I mean, you think men have problem wrestling? There is no woman to compete with her, bro. It's that bad. And the problem is the only thing that stopped her is that neck injury. And then I don't know now she's pulled out again. So
You know what's kind of fun is that this event's at like 11 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that, and you can watch college football. You can watch anything you want. So
is
that's
it
kind
gonna
of
be?
cool.
Is it
Uh,
Saturday though?
It
Because over there,
is
it's like 4 hours
Saturday.
ahead. Okay. So the
It's
main event will
Saturday.
probably be around what, 12 o'clock? I mean, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, 1, 2 o'clock, something like that.
So I'll probably
ESPN Plus, so it's not pay per view.
no, it's pay per
Uh,
view.
I thought it was on ESPN Plus, isn't
All
it?
pay per view is through ESPN Plus now, dude. Come on, it's been like that for two
Oh,
years.
okay. All right. Well,
But,
I
but I
haven't
put a max on that card.
really bought one in a long time, so
Yes, you have. We watch all of them.
yeah, 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 yeah. We watch all of them. We pay for all of them. Yeah. Well,
We
we
don't. We have people over. We chip in, and we all. No one
exactly,
really pays
exactly.
for it.
So I
It's a
don't really
communal thing.
exactly just like socialism or something like that. But did you hear about Nate Diaz and Brendan Schaub?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
who
don't
do you
like
think
Brendan
would?
Schaub. I think he's a fucking douchebag. But I get what he was saying. Like he was talking about Shane Carwin, who's like a heavyweight legend, and I guess he
Yeah,
quit his job. He's having like CTE problems and he can't pay his bills. And it's like he wasn't that far ago. He fought like Lesnar and them, but clearly, I mean,
yeah.
he wasn't like a big pay guy like Lesnar. So that does suck. I don't like Brendan Schaub. He's a fucking douchebag. He's not funny, even though he tries to be funny. He only has that career because he's people that he knows. But most people get tired of his antics quick. But I, for once, I agree with him on that aspect where he felt bad for Shane Carwin, and Dana does right by a lot of fighters and stuff. I don't know where he was as far as like a company guy, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping Dana could hook him up if that is the case. And because yeah, he was a big name back in the day, a little while ago, and but yeah, I think Nate was just talking shit. Nate's like a dude, and he saw Brendan Schaub crying, and no one likes Brendan Schaub. So anytime you could
He
kick that
messed
guy, which a
up.
lot of people do, but they're
Yeah.
like, Brendan Schaub was a heavyweight. Nate's like fucking 155 pounder. So
You think they'll fight?
no, dude, I could see them fighting like a boxing thing, maybe, right?
Yeah.
On a Jake Paul card, because
Brendan
Schaub's
Schaub
not.
was like anywhere, pull up,
No,
come here. I mean, he's
no,
talked
he's
about all
pretty.
this solo stuff.
He's no fucking cholo. He lives in fucking Marina Del Rey. How many cholos you know fucking live in Marina Del Rey? It's fucking gated communities, bro. Drive the Porsche and wear skinny jeans before skinny jeans were cool. You know,
I'm
he's
talking
that
about
guy.
Nate.
Yeah, Nate. Yeah, but I can see
That's
them.
Nate.
Nate's not. No, that's Brennan Schaub, dude.
Oh, I'm talking about Nate because Brendan was like, "Oh, pull up," you know what I mean? So, don't you think
Okay,
Nate would do something like that? Like he would pull up?
I don't know, man. I wouldn't. I wouldn't test those guys. I'll tell you that. Because even
I
though
know.
maybe Nate won't do it, or maybe Nate, yeah, he's bigger than Nate. Nate's got a lot of homies, and I know his homies are down. So
He said you could come, you could bring your homies. You know, if you're a
yeah.
man, you'll pull up by yourself, and
Okay,
you'll fight
yeah,
me.
he's gonna pull up to this guy that weighs 250 pounds, 100 pounds on him.
That's
Come on.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was saying like, "There's no chance I'll take you anywhere, and I won't have a scratch on me." You know, we could
Yeah,
do it. Even we could just go over to like the jiu-jitsu match, and we could do that. Whatever you
dude,
want to do.
the Diaz brothers are legit jiu-jitsu fighters, so that'd be stupid for him, even though it's a weight difference. That'd be
Exactly.
interesting to see them in a grappling match. I mean, Royce and them did it. Those guys are really good. I'd put my money on the Diaz brothers on the ground.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
man. But isn't
Schaub,
Brendan
Schaub,
Schaub? Isn't he's a black belt too, isn't he?
no, the black belt and fucking kissing ass and being a shit comedian.
I don't know. The way he was talking today, I think he won a lot of fans back because he was just like
No,
he was in the right.
he's in a bunch of lawsuits, dude. He's stealing jokes and he's a fucking douchebag. People
Still friends with
putting
Joe
him.
Rogan.
That's the only one who's still his friend. Theo Vaughn was his friend. Distanced himself. A lot of people distanced himself from him. So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
rubbed people the wrong way. He's kind of like that jock who's trying to be funny. It's like, are they laughing at you or are they laughing with you? You know?
Yeah. Well, he did good for himself sticking up for Shane Carwin. Hopefully he can
I guess it's good calls like
win
that.
some
So,
fans, but it's going to be tough. You know, he put himself in a heck of a hole. But unlike him, we are on top. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, no, absolutely. Any last takes on UFC 308? Anything?
no, I mean, I can't wait for the three main card on the main fight. It's a great top heavy card. It should be fun. Just the time zone might fuck it up, so we'll see, man. But anytime you can see Max fight, he puts on a fucking show. So I hope he fucking sleeps this kid and humbles him.
You're gonna have to get some.
He could get that rematch with Volk, maybe, you know, and maybe finally get one on. Like, remember? Yeah, be cool.
Dang. I don't know if that will ever happen again. I don't know if you're ever going to see those two fight again. Maybe old
The
school.
only way you see it is if Max is a champ.
Hmm.
Because right now, Volk can't really call no one out because he got knocked out, so he has to work his way up, right? But he's older, obviously. But if Max is a champ and he beat him twice, oh, that's that's gonna sell tickets, right?
Yeah. I thought Volk was going to retire after that last fight. Holy smokes, it was so bad.
Well, he did make a lot of money during the last couple of years.
And he's old, so why not? He's tired. But anyways, yeah, no, we got some college football to talk about, and I do want to go through the stats with you for the betting odds for these divisions in the NFL. But the professor's going to be on tomorrow. I'll shoot you the link, and we'll go from there.
All right, man. Sweet.
All right.
Later.
Peace.
Good night.
Who got me?